Welcome back to the Amy McManus Show. I'm continuing our conversation with Randy Weaver, who is running for as a member of the 136th Assembly. Let's make sure we get it right. And Janice Volk, who is running for Congress as a write-in candidate for the 29th District. There's a lot of prejudice out there for the term write-in, I'm learning.
Oh, yeah.
Randy, you've both experienced it. Randy, tell us some of the things you've been kind of surprised at, and some of the negative attributes that people have.
Well, as soon as I introduce myself, I'm Randolph Weaver, running as a write-in candidate for 136th Assembly District, and they look at you like, well, you won't win. And why not? I mean, you explain to them how much easier it is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. However, then I think that becomes part of the mindset because of a lot of the media, especially some of the local media, not this station, but other stations, they sit there and they'll say on their show, we welcome any candidate to be on our show, and we'll talk issues with them, and thank you, and they go to commercial. And then this actually happened on a show I was listening to. And then after commercial, he goes, oh, however, we won't accept any write-in candidates because they don't count. Well, you know, it's not like we're doing a last minute, saying, geez, it's 2 weeks before the election. I'm really mad, and I'm going to do something about this. I mean, these are Janice and I are both running campaigns that we started as ballot campaigns. We were removed for assorted reasons, and we said, well, wait a minute, the people deserve better than they're getting. So therefore, we were continuing our campaign. And that's the write-in is supposed to be another method for people to have a choice. So by the media discounting the candidate because they're quote unquote write-in doesn't make the candidate any less viable than one who has been lucky enough not to be forced out by the henchmen of the whatever party that is doing the henching, lynching, I guess is the term. But yes, I think that's people need to understand. You're as good a candidate if you're doing a write-in as if you're doing on the ballots. You're the same candidate.
And another thing I've noticed, Jan, is the write-in candidates seem to be omitted from debates. And it's kind of ironic to me because on the one hand you figure there's this dismissive attitude towards write-ins, especially by, as you said, the henchmen and the appointed ones, the ones who have not even gone through a primary process. On the one hand, there's this dismissive attitude, but on the other hand, there's this aggressiveness to keep your mouth shut,
Absolutely.
Which I find interesting because if you are such a non-entity, and if there's no threat there, then let whoever wants to debate you come out and debate you. If they look like a fool, better for you, right?
Right.
But Jan, you've experienced that as well,
Right.
of people saying, well, we can't let you debate. And what are some of the reasons they give you to in spite of, I'm sure you both make these efforts, let's debate. What do they say to you as far as committees or Tea Party leaders or Tea Party point people, whatever they call themselves? What's the feedback they give you as to why they must not allow you to debate your opponents?
Well, I've recently gone around to a few Tea Party meetings and was met with a wonderful applause once people got to know me. But their leaders, but they're not leaders, but they're leaders, will say, oh, but she didn't win the primary. I don't know how I can say this any other way. There was no primary.
Right.
Mr. So-and-so took that from you. He made the choice for you. So with there being no primary, a write-in candidate is a very viable option. And with the movement of the country in a whole, and not politics as usual, people should be open to the write-in process. It is very simple this time around. I've also been told, well, you haven't been vetted. Well, your clubs and your committees and your groups and your movements have all of our information. I'm sure Randy has put his information out there for you to contact him, and I know I have. I've called personally, and they set up their own blinders. They set up their own walls, thinking that they're doing for the good of the order or what have you. Well, you haven't been vetted, so you can't come. You're not invited. It's great. You're charming, but try next time. There isn't anything that validates their reasoning behind not inviting a write-in candidate.
Except that, like in Jan's case, that they're worried about splitting the vote.
The vote, yes.
I don't know what they're.
I don't know what they're fear. I guess they're fear that maybe that someone else might actually get elected other than their choice. I don't know. But yeah, and so there's really no reason not to. I like to actually, if I can, little plug here, congratulate the League of Women Voters out of Bath who have included us in their debate that they're going to be having this coming week. And I think it's encouraging to see there's actually maybe some people out there starting to be able to think outside the box and actually look at the big picture, not just what's thrown in front of them.
And as I said, the term vetting, the vetters are us, the voters.
Right.
We should be the primary vetters, not the secondary vetters or the third string. We are the vetters. And as you said, if there's no primary, that's not vetting. That's just picking the appointed person, picking the supposed front runner. We ourselves are the vetters, and nobody can take that from us. And thanks, Randy, for mentioning the American League of Women Voters Bath chapter is perhaps the only, I believe so far, who has agreed to have a debate with the primary candidates that I can't even say primary, who did not have to run through the official ballot candidates who did not have to go through a primary process will be debating against these two write-in candidates, Randy Weaver and Jan Volk. So I commend them, and I think all of us should, as I said, whichever side of the aisle we're on, we need to hear what people have to say. Do you guys have any closing thoughts as we wrap up?
I just like to go over real quick for those of you out there who didn't go to the primary and see the new paper ballot, and kind of give you a real brief overview of exactly what the process is and how the ballot's going to look and whatever. Like I said, it's going to be a paper ballot, so you actually sit down with a piece of paper and a pen, and when you get the ballot, you're going to look across the top. It'll have all the offices from governor, comptroller, attorney, right down through. Then there'll be two spots actually for the representative in Congress for the unexpired term, the new term, which is where you'll write Janice's name at the very bottom. And then the next to that will be the representative, two over from that will be the member of the Assembly 136th District. And the very bottom line, it says write-in across every spot. So all you have to do is take the pen that the Board of Elections is kind enough to provide you with, and write underneath if you want Janice's, you write her name, Janice Bolt, and where it says write-in. Make sure you keep it within the confines of the box, and don't go over the lines because it'll make you do it over. And underneath where it says member of Assembly 136th District, the very bottom, write in Randolph Weaver, keeping within those boxes. And like I said earlier, I'm glad my last name's not Michelojak.
And Volk's pretty easy to spell as well.
Yeah.
Janice, do you have any brief closing comments you want to make?
Don't write me off, write me in.
Right. And anybody, you get in that booth and you've got that pen and that paper or pencil, whatever it is, and there's no committee and there's no group, there's nobody that can tell you how to vote. It's you and that pen and that paper. So I hope everyone has learned a little something about what it means to be a write-in candidate. They are very qualified. I like you both, and I thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Thank you, Amy.
You've been listening to the Amy McManus Show. Have a good day.